Hi guys, and welcome to part 2 of the changes you're going to be expecting to see in 9.1. I have already covered the nerfs and the buffs to various tanks in a previous video. In this video I'm going to be including all the other minor changes. I'm going to be leaving some of them out because they're so minor they don't really matter, but I'm going to include the ones that I think are important. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to be playing this recent game in a Kharkov in the background. I'm here on Sand River platooned with Beyond D and Bringy, but I'm not going to be talking about the game. That's just going to be playing in the background while I talk about the changes in 9.1. The most significant change just before we begin is they're adding a new map, Kharkov. Now Kharkov is a Romanian city. In fact, it was the third biggest city in the Soviet Union at the start of World War II. There were no less than 4 battles fought there. Basically, in case you haven't heard of Kharkov before, as I say, it's in the Ukraine. In 1941, it was first occupied by the Germans, but prior to 1941, it was the main center for all of the Red Army's tank programs. So basically their entire tank industry was based in Kharkov prior to the occupation. It was later moved elsewhere just prior to the occupation in 1941, but just as a little bit of a history thrown in, Kharkov was where they actually designed and developed the prototype of the T-34. So the map they're adding is Kharkov, and from what I can see, it's pretty realistic. So this is a quick aerial view of what Kharkov looks like now. And as you can see, yes, Kharkov is going to be another city map. The modern city has a lot of green areas. It looks as if there's going to be a lot of potential cover. However, this is what Kharkov looked like in World War II. So very, very desolate, but as you can see, it's going to be a city map. This pretty much mirrors the grainy images we have from mini-maps of games on this map that have been leaked. But this is the area that's going to be covered in the upcoming map, and as you can see, it is mainly city. So we're looking at possibly another Himmelsdorf type map here, but we'll see. Looking forward to it, and a little bit sad at the same time because it looks like another one of these maps where perhaps scouts and light tanks aren't going to be as valuable as they are on other maps, but as I say, we'll see. So moving on, let's get this game started. As well as introducing the new map Kharkov, there are also going to be major fixes and improvements on Arctic, which is a map that basically is just 2 choke points, so that's going to be nice. Tundra is also going to get some reworking. Don't really see a problem with Tundra, but it is one of the maps that Wargaming have identified for fixes and improvements. Komarin is the next map that is highlighted for fixes and improvements, and by goodness, that yeah, that map definitely needs some work. The next one on the list for some upgrades is Windstorm, which is a map, to be honest, I still haven't really got to grips with. I'm not sure what I think about the map. It's really tank dependent, but it's a relatively new map, so I'm surprised to see that it's being highlighted for fixes and improvements. And the final map is the final map is going to be Northwest. So Northwest is a map that got reworked in the last patch. So I'm really surprised it's being reworked again, but it's on the list, so we'll have to see what they do to it. They've also improved performance on the map Hidden Village. Now, that was a map I was hoping to see fixes on, and when they have it separated from the other maps, and it doesn't say fixes and improvements, it just says improved performance. So it's likely that Hidden Village isn't going to be changed at all. They're simply going to be adjusting some graphics on it to improve maybe the frame rate, but yeah, that's a map I don't like very much, and it doesn't seem as if it's going to be reworked. The last bit of map news is they are removing the assault mode on Sand River. Now, that might affect some of you. I don't play assault mode. So that probably doesn't affect me as much as it would some of you guys if you do play Assault on Sand River. It's been a long time since I've played that map mode, so what I do remember from it was very, very, very difficult if you were on the assaulting team to actually win that map and the defenders knew what they were doing. But as I say, it's been so long since I played it. Maybe you're happy about its removal, maybe you're not. So moving on, we're the next bunch of changes in 9.1 seem to be small visual issues with textures and models for a large number of tanks. So there's a huge list here. They're doing things like they're fixing textures and models for some tanks, for some map objects. They're reworking exhaust smoke effect for all tanks. They're reworking the tank explosion effect. They're adding the mechanism where a turret ripped off by ammo rack explosion slides off instead of shoots up into the air. And apparently the type of surface now influences the behavior of a turret ripped off, so the turret will probably bounce a little bit less on high resistance ground. Another change they've marked here that I don't actually understand is added visual markers on barrels for damage made in battle. So I'm not quite sure what that means. Does that mean that there's going to be some sort of graphical indication on a tank barrel, kind of like crew artwork indicating how many kills? I'm not quite sure, but that's the exact wording. Added visual markers on barrels for damage made in battle. Maybe it could mean, it could be as simple as if someone were to shoot your gun barrel, that it's going to show where the shot landed. Maybe it's simply going to be damage effects, but I'm not quite sure. But anyway, yeah, if you know, let me know in the comments. We're moving on. Added 5 new medals for artillery. I'm not going to list them all, but boy, yeah, don't really care too much about that one, but if you do play artillery, then maybe that should be interesting. Also added 5 new awards for team battles. Again, a mode I don't play, so again, you could get excited. I'm not quite sure. It's not for me. One thing that has changed is they have reworked the description to clarify what you actually need to do in order to earn a Belotti's medal, a Bruno's medal, and a Tartsky's medal. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that last one correct, but so essentially the descriptions for those medals are they're fairly rare medals. The descriptions are kind of vague. It involves taking a lot of critical hits, losing most of your hit points, but the important thing is losing most of your hit points and taking those critical hits from multiple tanks. I've only received the Bruno's medal and the Tartsky's medal, so I'm not quite sure what the Belotti's medals requirements are, but basically, yeah, the descriptions are being reworked for clarification, so it'll be interesting to see how exactly you earn those medals. Next big news. Yes, they are updating the sounds in the game. Now, in case you weren't aware, there's a mod pack out there called Gnome Father's Gun Sounds, I believe it's called, or but basically Gnome Father has done a lot of mod work regarding the sounds in the game, and I know a lot of you guys are using them. I'm not, but I do have clanmates who are. So Gnome Father, after making these sound mods, has actually been hired by Wargaming to do their sound engineers and sound effects. So basically, did I just say do their sound engineers? Do their sound engineering and sound effects. So basically he's been hired. There's going to be a lot of sound effect updates in future, and that's starting with the sound library and the gun sounds. So looking forward to that being part of the game rather than a mod. The maximum amount of symbols for chat has been increased to 512, so wonderful. That just gives people the opportunity to do even more spamming in chat. They can type longer messages. One thing that is interesting is they've added a dynamic field of view setting to the actual game, so you should be able to switch your field of view during a game rather than having to restart the client. They have fixed the number of disconnects and failures to log in by fixing some memory leaks, fixing some crashes and freezes with the game client, fixed a bug where the game strained when the graphic processing unit, the GPU, was running at full strength even when World of Tanks was minimized. So they've done a lot of work to try and fix a lot of the crashes and freezes that players were receiving. Now, to be honest, since the micro patch, I haven't received any, but it's nice to know that they're still working on those issues. So that was a pretty good game in the Carnarvon. Some nice medals there. Wasn't a mastery, but it was pretty close to it. But yeah, let's get back to the updates. Yes, they are increasing the number of national flag emblems. So if you're from one of those countries that wasn't previously represented, now you have the opportunity to spend gold in order to get your country's emblem up on your tank. And finally, they have fixed some errors in recording replays, so hopefully, the mini-map will display the tank positions correctly, fingers crossed. Hopefully, enemy tank outlines will be shown correctly and not disappear, fingers crossed. And maybe arty lines will not be messed up and show green where it should be red, or red where it should be green, but they're just issues I run into when trying to record replays, and you guys are probably completely unaware of. So that's pretty much it for 9.1, and as I say, and I said this in the previous video, all of this is preliminary information. It is subject to change, but this is what we should be looking forward to in 9.1. The first part of this video was released a few days ago, 9.1 nerfs and buffs to all the tanks that are listed so far. There may be more tanks added, we don't know yet, but if you haven't checked that video out, please do, and then you will have the complete picture of what's going to be happening in 9.1. So the things I am most looking forward to are probably the new map, the map fixes, and the sounds. I'm looking forward to hearing some new sounds in the game. So other than that, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.